Hello and welcome! Silrace here with a build showcase. Build on your screen right there. Pause the video if you wish to copy the exact main components, also listed in the description below. Timberwolf. The prime variant is where I have this build set up on. However, due to the clan omnipod technology, you can do this build on basically every Timberwolf variant you might want to set it up on. Note, at the time of recording, I have finished mastering the pilot skills on the Timberwolf Prime, and so if you don't yet have your basic and elite pilot skills, you will see a performance decrease from this particular build. And also know that no modules were in use, so if you have the modules, this build will perform better for you. Now, this particular build runs real warm. It is heat intensive build with 2 large pulses and a bunch of medium lasers. And so you have to play careful. Even after you finish the elite pilot skills, you will overheat from time to time. And actually, especially before you finish those elite pilot skills, you'll have to be careful. And because it's a Timberwolf, you can get away with doing all sorts of crazy things. Like I was doing this scouting for my team here. And I can even get away with that by actually still staying alive through the entire pounding. As nobody else was willing to do the middle scouting, so I went for it.
Target destroyed.
Right? Let's just go for it. Because sometimes information can be worth losing some armor over. Just don't lose your life, that's not a good thing.
Target destroyed.
Your main weapons in this build are those large pulse lasers. Like, granted, you may want to fire all of your weapons at once in a one alpha strike, but really your main weapons are those large pulse lasers. And so, use them as much as possible to try and take advantage of their power. Now, of course, being a 75-ton heavy mech means that you can take a lot of punishment. And Timberwolf is very good at taking punishment. Also very good at dishing out that punishment depending on your build, and this build definitely can get up there on high average damage numbers. And you will overheat, even after getting those elites. And that is a, well, essentially a stick, which I was wasting ammo on. Well, not ammo, because lasers don't actually use ammo, but I was still overheated while shooting at it. However, the push was very successful with the team, and well, not in the best shape at this point. Happens if you play very aggressive, but also can pay off extremely often by playing very aggressive, by then being able to, well, take on a whole lot of enemies and actually really lead your team to victory because of the aggressive moves and having everybody focus you, so your team has essentially free reign on destroying the enemies. Works fairly well, I would say, works fairly well. And there is the other overheat and essentially a death. Let's move on to the next one. From the desert to the river city. Nighttime river city to be precise, which has always been a personal enjoyment to play, however, that might just be me. Now, Timberwolf has always been a strong mech. From the day it was unleashed into the battlefields of Mechwarrior Online, it has remained a strong mech, although granted they have toned it down on the power level a bit from when it was released. However, people still remember its strength, how good, how powerful it was, and how good it can still be when played well and so forth. And so when you play Timberwolf, you paint a massive bullseye on yourself because people remember its strength. People will absolutely ignore other mechs to be able to get to you, to be able to shoot you, to be able to destroy you. It will happen when you play Timberwolf. So be prepared for it, and that is one of the reasons why I play Timberwolf rather aggressively when I play. If you look my positioning here, this is kind of forward, kind of aggressive position.
New target acquired.
Doesn't mean you need to play stupid and just walk into the enemy firing line and die, but since you're going to be the focus fire target often anyway, might just as well take advantage of that. And then this obviously gives me a nice crossfire and scouting information here for my team. Granted, I take a little bit of damage for that, but that's fine. You are a Timberwolf, and especially with the double basics from having elite and then later master pilot skills done, you can turn your torso around very rapidly, so you can spread the damage effectively. Note that this build would obviously love all sorts of cool ice maps, because it is very heat intensive. Running a whole lot of lasers means that you can... Essentially you could argue that when you fire you could just alpha strike always and then just try to hide. It's not the sort of gameplay style I personally use much, so you won't see me doing the whole alpha strike and just hide and alpha strike and just hide. I just don't like it. Simple as that. Simple as that. Now, obviously these games here are, as always for my build showcases, they are the sort of average games. I try to pick up average games for these things. Not my best results, not my worst results, the sort of average things. And Timberwolf, when you get used to the mech, it posts very high average results. At least for me. It posts pretty high average results because it is a 75-ton heavy mech. It has good mobility, which allows you to get from place to place nice and fast. And it allows you to change flanks, you know, go to places. That's exactly what I am doing, for example, here. I'm taking advantage of that mobility. I noticed that these folks went into the water to try to get out to our flank, essentially to get to the side of the team. And those need to be pushed back. I don't want them to have crossfire on my team, or on me, one or the other. You folks go away. And that's exactly what they do. Afraid of the Timberwolf, afraid of other things being here, they run off. And that prevents them from getting to the side of my team. And that is awesome. That is how it should be. And then poke the middle. Lots of targets here to shoot at. And of course those lasers being in the arms can cause issues, as in they can hit the buildings on your sides, and the arms are a little bit low, just a tad low on the Timberwolf. So you will occasionally be shooting at various objects or hillsides when you're, you know, avoiding things. And that is a good example of the thing. There is a king crab in front of these folks, and they still shoot the PPCs towards me, towards the Timberwolf. That's what I mean when I say that people are going to ignore everybody else to try and destroy you. It will happen when you play Timberwolf. It will. So when you're getting damaged a whole lot, it's better to try to hang back a little bit, or then you just try and get that push going. And you go in first, make sure everybody focus fires you, try to take as much damage as possible while staying alive, because at that point, when you're being focus fired, it becomes more about staying alive than actually, you know, dealing damage. And then you die and your team mops up everybody else and you win anyway. Because dying, if you manage to win, is still worth that.
Target destroyed.
Now, my team is pushing the middle, so it is time to go. I have a friend to my left at my 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock down there in the water. So it is time to push. Because push as a nice even movement right here, right through here. Because I have both my flanks covered. So this push will definitely work. Although of course it will work, especially if I have these folks following me in. Lead the push. It works very well on the Timberwolf. And there you could see the whole a little bit of an issue with the arms being a little low, because I was jump jetting and shooting over and I was still shooting at the building in front of me. And folks, ignore the marauder next to me to try and destroy me. That's just how it goes. Anyway, game is basically done. Test out this build, it is fun, it is effective. Thank you very much for watching.